All right, we're live. Anything
Let's
can
do it.
happen.
Anything can happen.
Wait for some peeps to slide in. Make sure you're setting your lineups. Checking out the news. Guess some of the bigger news this morning was the Micah Parsons thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a question.
Yeah, that'll be a pretty common one probably. Zadarius Smith going to IR. He was on my fades video earlier this week before that happened. Sucks.
Yeah.
For the old Packers. But what are you going to do? What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Hop on over there. Give us all that good stuff. Give us your questions. What do you want to know about week 2? We got some time on our hands here this morning to help you guys get your start sit questions in. Give you any insights. So we're watching the Dayon Brown news. That's going to be a pretty big one, I bet, today, just because he's been questionable since like Wednesday.
Matthews for sure playing this week, right?
Yep. Tyrone Matthews in. Looks like Frank Clark is going to be in. So yeah.
Sounds good.
I went through and put Jalen Smith back into a lot of lineups because I pulled him out. But I mean, now if Parsons is going to be playing defensive end, I mean that just means Jalen's basically going to get back on the field. I think
you're right. I can't see how they wouldn't have that be the package, and then LVE just comes in every now and then.
Yep. Bingo, bango, bongo.
The Browns are a 13.5-point favorite today.
Who are they playing?
Texans.
Man,
that line seems crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I am playing Nick Chubb in a lot of my underdog lineups this week, though.
Oh, me too. Agreed.
I don't know if anybody's gone and set their underdog lineups, but if you guys haven't or want to play some daily fantasy real quick, get a draft in. I did like 15 drafts last night in like an hour. Go down into there's a link down in the comments. You can click it, do a draft right now while you're watching this. I might do another one. I got some more money on Underdog. So
there was like single game lineups I really enjoyed.
I didn't do it in single games, but I like that it's the player pool is small, or the people you play. So I'm going head to head and then 4-man, 3-man, 6-man, a lot of those. You can triple up your money. You only got to beat 1 or 2 people, and you can play with a lot of different stacks too. Because I mean, you have so much available to you.
Right.
You can do Dallas stacks. You can do Seahawks stacks. You can do KC stacks. So easy. And I got the 101 spot in a lot of those. I mean, it's Christian McCaffrey. I don't have him in any of my redraft leagues. I don't have him in any of my dynasty leagues. But I get to play with Christian McCaffrey every week on Underdog, which is really cool. So I've pretty much decided that our brand is going to morph into an Underdog Bro brand eventually. Because I mean, IDP is cool, and we're never going to leave you guys behind there. But we gotta start clout chasing out here, or we're gonna get left behind. There's only so much hard work can actually get done. That's what they don't tell you. Okay?
That's true.
There's only so much upside that hard work has. Eventually, you gotta just flip the baseball cap on backwards. You gotta get the lighting situation a little better. You gotta get that TikTok numbers running up, and just start talking about money. Just money.
I know. I've been wanting to use the live function on TikTok. Just never have done it yet.
I saw that. There's a live function on Twitter too. Like if you actually open up your phone for Twitter and then click the picture icon, like to take a picture, there's like a live version. I've never actually done that. I guess we're live on Twitter now, but it's through Periscope.
Yes.
Guys, gals, we're just talking to each other right now, which is great, but we are here for the people. So if y'all have any questions about your lineups, let us know. We, like I said, we're kind of just watching the news. We're seeing what's coming out today. Obviously, we had the big news with with Micah Parsons moving to the defensive end spot. For me, like I said, I took him out of a lot of my lineups. I'm not going to play him this week if I can avoid it. I mean, obviously you drafted other players at your defensive line spot, so I wouldn't put him in there. I don't even know if you can. I don't think any of the systems are going to have that ability to change it. But as linebacker, he's not going to have the same kind of floor that you wanted him to have. So, all right, I got a question. So do I start Josh Allen or Matt Judon at my edge slot? Thanks. I'm thinking I'm going Judon. He gets to play against the Jets today.
Yeah, Judon. For sure.
Zach Wilson got 8 up last week. He's going to get 8 up again. Kyle Van Noy's out, and that really matters. So that might give Uche and Winovich a bump. But I would start Matt Judon in that situation, definitely. How long is Mekhi Becton going to be out for? Isn't he out for a little while?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I don't know the exact time.
I have Zach Wilson. I got to play him in a super flex lineup, and I'm less than excited about it, unfortunately. I think he'll do fine. The good thing about that league is I looked this morning, we don't lose points for sacks. So if he gets sacked, it doesn't really hurt my team. So that's nice. But I kind of think that's kind of a bad scoring choice. I think sacks obviously are bad plays. They should be scored. I mean, it's still a play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, got a few more questions here. V Dizzle on the YouTube says, "Hey guys, love the videos. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you. Make sure you tell your league mates and anybody who will listen to about us because we're going all the way up." John Palacio, did I get that right, John? I have Chandler Jones and Joey Bosa. Who do I start? I start Joey Bosa still. What about you, Bill? No.
Chandler Jones. You can't bench him until he proves you otherwise.
All right. Looks like Billy's froze on me. Oh, he's back. All right. Well, Billy says Chandler Jones. I have Bosa higher still this week, but I think Billy's probably right. If he was in my lineup last week, I would probably be a lot more emotionally invested in playing him again this week, which I am playing him everywhere I can. But he was in all leagues I have Chandler Jones, and he was on my bench last week, so that really, really, really sucks. Anyway, I'm already over it. I hope we answered your question. I hope he said I didn't butcher his name. Dope. So we're going to go Chandler Jones. Fully expecting him to get a big, fat 0. All right, my man Billy said he's going to be back in just a second, so you guys get me by myself. Who we got here? V Dizzle says, just wondering who's better start in Dynasty, linebacker Kenyon. Well, first off, I think it's important to talk about the fact that at this point in the year, Dynasty, redraft, those things don't really mean anything in my mind because in season, we're all doing the exact same thing. We're playing fantasy football. I actually tweeted something about this morning. Shout out to the boys. He put some people kind of on blast. Just like there's so many people in fantasy world that do what we do, I do, talk, and they're not really good at fantasy football. And that shows when you play with them. Some of these people that you look up to and are in the fantasy space, they're not really good at fantasy football. Some of them aren't even setting their lineup sometimes. They're just making videos. They're just pumping numbers into spreadsheets. They're just talking about it. They're just profiting off it, which is fine. But this whole push to make everything best ball, there's high-end people in IDP that say it should be best ball because it's totally unpredictable. And even at our very best, we're not very good at it. Okay, so what? Try harder. Work on your process. That's the whole point. This game fantasy football is a young sport. So anyway, that was my short tirade. Go check out the tweet if you want to. 50 Shades of Drunk. Go give the boys a follow. But fantasy football is about what we're doing right now, setting our lineups with the guys that we drafted a couple of weeks ago. All right, it's not about drafting and then tweeting about it and watching football. You know what I mean? That's just football. So, all right, I'm starting Kenny Young, my guy, to say all that. I'm torn. From the YouTube says, I'm torn. Start two linebackers, Eric Kendricks, Joe Schobert, CJ Mosley, Shaq Thompson. Okay, so for me, this is pretty easy-ish. I'm taking Eric Kendricks. He's so efficient all the time. So that's a check for that's a positive thing in my mind. So I'm taking Kendricks. So I'm gonna take Schobert. I know Schobert didn't get all the snaps last week, but I'm buying into my man Joe Schobert. You drafted him there. You drafted Kendricks there. I'm not taking them out of my lineup for guys that are probably like my 4th or 5th linebackers, even if they had good weeks last week. All right, back there. Lou 32, Lofton, what up, bro? Remember, what's up? Is Bradley Chubb playing today? Guy, man, I don't know. I thought he was playing last week. I mean, I left him in lineups, and I mean, he about fucked me. I ended up winning a game by like a 0.25 points against my man. I think it was Jorge Edwards. Shout out to Fantasy and Frames. And I had a big old 0 in a Bradley Chubb spot, and I literally had Chandler Jones on my bench. So, but I don't know if he is. Should I start him or Highsmith? I'd probably start Highsmith this week. If Chubb was banged up enough last week not to play, just go with Highsmith. All right, Travis Knott. Who should I start for DeMarcus Lawrence? Kwity Paye, Kenny Clark, Javon Hargraves. Thanks for the help. Hey, no problem. No problem, Travis. Seen you on here a few times, so happy to be useful and helpful to you. All right, Kwity Paye I saw was hanging out on the sidelines this week a little bit. Kenny Clark's going to get a ton of snaps, and then Javon Hargrave is a really good interior rusher. So I'm probably going to fade Kwity Paye, even though he is the edge of these 3 guys, because I'm not still at this moment right now. I don't know what his current status is. I'll have to check that out, or maybe somebody in the chat can go Google that real quick, or better yet, go to Twitter and just type his name in the search bar and click latest. Tell me what you find. But I'm probably going to go with Hargraves. He had a good game last week. He's been good. He has a long track record of being useful in the NFL. He's a safe bet, and he's got a little bit of sack upside even from the interior. So that's where I'm at, ATM. All right, what we got here from Galagos_Thomas coming in from Periscope/Twitter, I assume. Just joined, but have y'all touched on the Dallas linebacker situation? Yeah, we did briefly, but I'll circle back around to it. So with Parsons now playing the defensive end spot, obviously his floor is going to go down big time. I think his ceiling's probably exactly the same. So I'm trying to get him out of my lineups now. I had him in a couple lineups, took him out. Because I probably have guys that are actual linebackers that are going to have higher floors. And I'm putting Jalen Smith back into my lineups this week. I still think Jalen Smith greater than LVE and Keanu Neal, honestly. So I'm playing Jalen Smith. I wouldn't put him back into all my lineups everywhere that I don't have like super studs in. Like the only place I left him on my bench, I'm starting Zach Cunningham and I don't know, whoever the other guy was, he was a stud. So I was like, fuck that shit. Sorry about that if there's any kids watching. It's Von Miller worth starting. 2 points per tackle, 12 points per sack. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're in 12 points for a sack, my guy, I'm like, I think, and IDP 1, 2, 3, a cumulative total on a sack is 11, I think. So I don't know if that's cumulative or if it's just like a single stat thing, but that's a good number. Oh shit, Billy's back. We gotta stop talking about him, guys. Oh gosh. What up?
All good now,
bro. Without you here to keep me in line, I'm way behind on the comments. So
that's good.
Yeah, you know how I do.
You've gotten off on tangents. Great.
I did get on my soapbox for just a minute, so typical. All right, John Palicio said again, hey, talk about it, brother. I agree 100%. Appreciate it, man. Like I said, guys, the best thing you can do for the IDP Army is subscribe to the channel, thumbs up this shit, go play on the Underdog link below, and then tell your league mates after you beat them.
Yes.
Join our Patreon, too.
You should start Patrick Queen versus Kansas City, yes.
Yeah, 100%. Probably a dumb question. I wouldn't say that, my guy. Just start Patrick Queen.
No, yeah, it's not a dumb question. It's just the O-line still getting there.
We are aware of the limited resources in IDP, and we know that some people out there say other things that may or may not make sense or be founded and grounded in reality. But we know that Patrick Queen against KC is good. Mm-hmm. And the snaps, you don't have to play 100% snaps to be useful. I mean, you don't. Look at Jabril Peppers this week. I sat Jabril Peppers from McKinney, and it was just the opposite. I'm just leaving Jabril Peppers in the rest of the season. I don't give a fuck about how many snaps he plays.
Probably smart.
Yeah, at this point, I don't give a shit. If Kendricks is out, Shaq or CJ Mosley? Ooh, if Kendricks is out, I'm going to go Shaq. He did blow up last week. I'm not saying it's going to keep happening, but I mean, I'd rather play him than CJ Mosley's bum ass.
I don't think he's a bum, but yeah, Shaq's the better play.
No, you're right. He's not a bum, but I don't know. That defense.
They're going against the Patriots. I don't trust anybody against the Patriots.
Bingo. All right. So what are you going to do? Kenny Young as well for this one? I'm doing Kenny Young.
Yeah. Kenny Young, for sure.
He seemed like he was like playing for his job too. Like he was just like playing hard. I don't know. I didn't watch any of the game last week with the Jets, or I didn't watch much of it, so I didn't see them to do anything. John Huber off the YouTube says Javonte Williams or Gaskin, pick one full PPR.
Gaskin's Buffalo. Probably Javonte, but I don't know how you can trust him.
No, I'm playing Gaskin because they're still going to throw to Melvin. Like, he's the guy who's going to, if it's full PPR.
But they're playing Jacksonville. Like, they could get up big and just put Williams in.
Yeah, I'm still playing.
You trusting Gaskin against Buffalo, who just shut down Naji Harris? That's fine.
I mean, they didn't really. I don't know.
You mean they didn't? You about to say they didn't shut
down
Naji Harris?
I mean, how many touches did Najee have? I mean,
20, I think.
Okay, I mean that's just it.
He was in 100% of the snaps.
That's fine.
Is unheard of.
That's fine. Still, 20 touches. I mean, yeah, he didn't break one off. I mean,
maybe Gaskin gets into the end zone. That's the only thing you can.
he only had one reception. I mean, if Gaskin has 3 receptions, he's going to have more points than Najee had last week, just like that. So I don't think Najee has anything to do with this conversation.
Well, they're playing Buffalo. That's why.
I don't give. What is Buffalo? What scares you about Buffalo's defense?
Apparently they can shut down Najee Harris. Yeah.
Okay, but we just listened to a whole offseason of people saying the Steelers offense is going to struggle, and then that Najee had a bad O-line, and if he was going to be successful, it was going to be tough, and all those things were true. Did we come into the year saying all those things about Gaskin? Did we come into the year saying that Buffalo's defense was good? No, we have one game where Buffalo lost. I want to emphasize that Buffalo lost. And Najee didn't do much. Yeah, that's fine. But, I mean, that doesn't mean that this defense was, like, shutting down the run. I mean, again, Najee, in a full PPR, you want passes. You want, catches. Didn't he have 1 catch? I mean, that's a terrible week no matter who you're playing. You can have 20 touches, and if you get 1 reception, unless you get 100 yards and a touchdown, it doesn't mean shit. You're looking at a sub-10-point game.
I see what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. And Javonte Williams didn't get much reception work last week, but they're going to equal. They're equaling
more, John.
Equaling.
Who do you trust more, me or Billy? Just say it. Just say it. Just type the answer, and I want to know. Shane, IDP Goats. What up, my dude? Y'all, Shane's been fucking with us for like 3 years straight. He only shows up when we live stream, though.
That's fine.
Love you, Shane.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I know. Just want to give him a little love. We'll bring him back up here. There he is. All right, Yo Lewis, Chuck Clark, Marcus May, or Honey Badger starting Taylor Rapp at my other DB spot. I'm gonna start. Oh man, that's tough.
Honey Badger.
I'm doing Clark.
Why Clark?
I just like.
You think Pat Mahomes is like a big mistake?
Honey Badger he's been playing too much slot corner for me lately, and even last year, and he just.
And you think Lamar, who's a bad quarterback, is not prone to making mistakes?
No, I didn't say that. I just think Chuck Clark, and even I just like Chuck Clark more. I think Chuck Clark has a better chance to get you some points this week. Now, splash play wise, Honey Badger's probably your guy, but I'm gonna go with Chuck Clark.
Fair enough. You're the IDP guy.
Hey, I mean, doesn't mean I'm right. That's just my opinion. Russ Wilson, Jay Williams, Eli Mitchell, Adams, D-Hop, Kittle, Jefferson. All right, I like it.
It's a good team.
Yeah. Why does David Tan suck so bad? I don't know who David Tan is. Billy, who's David Tan?
I'm Googling. All
right, we'll get back to you. Jordan, what do you think about Crowder becomes a breakout player this year, and thoughts on my guy Harley? Both of them are dope. I mean, both these guys are DL players on sleeper that are going to play like upwards of 85% of the snaps. That's huge for your defensive line players. When you have an outside linebacker type guy like like Harold Landry, who is playing a lot of snaps, and you have a defensive end like Max Crosby, who's playing a ton of snaps. Even against more talented players, obviously they're going to have a higher likelihood of being scoring points. And Crosby is really good. He's shown that he's improved this year just in the one game he had. And then Harold Landry's always been good, in my opinion. Not great, but good. And good in the NFL is still better than a lot of people. So I like them both. Breakout players, I feel like they both already kind of broke out, but like they haven't gotten the attention for it. So maybe if they can put up like some gaudy sack numbers, like 13, 14. But then all that's going to happen if that happens, Shane, is what happens to every guy who breaks out every year to, Shaq Barrett or to Hassan Reddick. People are going to show up and just throw buckets of cold water on them and be like, they're not really that good. Look at their PFF grade. It's just average. They suck. So same shit they've already gone through. But both these guys have top 15 DL seasons under their belts already. Both of them have top 12 seasons, I think, under their belts, actually, if you go look. So actually, maybe Crosby wasn't that rookie year, but I know Landry has had one, two.
I would love to know what David Tan this person's talking about. I searched it. I don't know. It's either sports medicine guy or some kind of esports athlete. I don't know.
Check Mosley is a late down, so maybe like a late scratch. That's coming from Ernest.
It says it is a letdown.
Oh, man. My dyslexia is catching up. All right, Nick Cal, start one, full PPR, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, DJ Chark.
Not Evans.
I was going to go the opposite. I was going to go Evans.
Tell
me why not Evans. Tell me why not. No, tell me why not. I'm interested.
Because Antonio Brown's a possession wide receiver, and they're going to go against a bad team this week, and it's probably going to be Antonio.
And it's probably going to be Antonio.
Mike Evans might catch like two touchdowns off of two passes. Like that's about it, maybe.
Really, you are better than that. That is some weak. He might catch two passes for 2 touchdowns. Come on.
He's the second best tight end on the team. There I said it.
You talking about a guy that listen to some of these reception target totals he had last year, week 1.
Oh, okay, good. We're going back to last season. Great.
I mean, what do you want me to start from today? Because today,
why do you go from how he's being used for real?
All right, Nick. This guy over here, I don't know
Antonio Brown.
He's on right now, but you need to play Mike Evans. That's my answer.
No, God, stop steering Nick into a bad decision. Don't play Chark. Play Antonio Brown. Don't start your studs. What, the number 2 option on the team's bad call for you?
I'm done.
Okay.
I have Mike Evans in all my dynasty rosters. He's going up against you in some leagues today, I think, too. I'm real happy about it.
I saw your dynasty. I saw a couple of your dynasty teams last week. They didn't do amazing.
I hope he shoves it right up your you-know-what. Brian Burns or Von Miller, linebacker spot. I'm going to go Brian Burns.
Wow, yeah, Brian Burns in the linebacker spot. Okay.
What about you? He gets New Orleans, who has a good line, but
probably Von Miller is going against Jacksonville. It's a little tempting. I'll stay with Brian Burns. He's the better player, right? At this point in their career.
I mean, you can't say things like that out loud. You'll get canceled.
No. I said at this point in their career. That's why I put that little qualifier in there at the end.
Even that's dangerous because we don't have enough PFF.
People think Von Miller's still like at Brian Burns level at this point. He's like 33.
I'm just saying I can't. I'm not equipped to answer.
You're not attaching your name to that.
I haven't checked the PFF grades yet, so I don't know what I'm supposed to think. Okay.
I don't want to touch PFF.
Don't want to go there. All right. John Policio says, "How do you guys feel about Sermon this week? Shanahan drives me crazy. I have Mitchell and Sermon.
I want off of San Francisco.
Oh, shut up. I'm probably, if you have both, I would consider starting both, just depending on who your other running backs flex, like running back people are. I like Sermon this week, but I'm just going to be completely 100% real with you. And somebody out there needs to create this app. Somebody needs to make a fantasy football app that you can, like, as an extension that allows you to turn on a plugin that shuts off the projections so they can't mess with your mind. So all you get for everybody is a 0. So you can make unbiased decisions. Now, I know there are two, like it's an option, because when I see 6 points by Sermon's name and I see like 11 by Mitchell or I see 14 by James Robinson, even though I am a Trey Sermon stan, that shit fucks with your head. Like you cannot unsee that. That is influential. So to completely have an unbiased approach to how to do this, I think an extension of some sort for some of these fantasy platforms would be cool as an option to let people do that. Now, all that being said, I'm starting Sermon some spots, and I'm not starting Sermon some spots just based on what I have available to me.
I might roll with Elijah Mitchell this week, just until he proves me otherwise. I don't trust Shanahan, though. Them and the Tennessee Titans, I'm pushing all of my chips off of those players until things can shake out a little differently.
There you go.
By the way, San Francisco didn't list Brandon Ayuk with that hamstring injury last week. Is that weird to you?
Kyle Shanahan is a
like he said he had a hamstring injury that they knew about, and then he wasn't on the injury report for a hamstring. So
no, this season will be remembered for the year that Kyle, like the media and the narrative around Kyle Shanahan shifted. Okay,
unless they make a Super Bowl run, then
true. But I mean, but the rumblings have already started. Like, is this guy really? I mean, he's a great play caller, yes, but like as far as a head coach, he's made some questionable decisions, and he just does some questionable stuff. And they're
starting Josh Norman this week.
I can tell you the exact moment that I decided that I did not like Kyle Shanahan. And people who know me know I'm not a big George Kittle guy at all. That's fine. You know, I like him. And I'm just not a 49ers fan. But I remember of the game where George Kittle had 209 receiving yards in the first half. And he was on pace. He only needed 20 more yards to take every fucking tight end record ever for everything. And they came out the next half, and I don't think he got a single fucking target. And I remember after that, Kyle Shanahan was asked at the press conference, well, what happened there? And this motherfucker's like, well, they did some things to scheme him out, so we just moved away. Fuck that. What it was your ego so fucking big that you couldn't just give that to George Kittle. You know, this 4th round, 5th round, whatever guy who you guys happen to just luck into. You couldn't handle that. He wouldn't go out of his way to do that for George Kittle. And it was his second year. And I'm not even a big George Kittle guy. That has always rubbed me so wrong. They came out and he didn't get another target like that next half. And Kyle Shanahan had a reason for it. The only thing you should have been doing in that game at that point, we're just trying to get George Kittle so high up on the fucking record boards that your name's attached to his forever next to that. And you didn't. You did some putsy-ass move where you had to be a power tripper, and you fucked it all up. And I don't like Kyle Shanahan. So there it is.
Damn. Well, tell us
all right, Leonard Fournette, Julio Jones. I'm rolling with
oof. I'm saying Fournette. I'm saying Fournette too.
Yeah, he's
start everybody against Atlanta. That's the entire season. Start everybody against Atlanta.
Well, he's gonna be safer, and I
think Atlanta's tanking. By the way, I don't know if you listened to the podcast this week. I think they're tanking.
I listened to most of it, but we dropped so many pods this week. I'm behind. We dropped 5.
Dude, it's tough keeping up with them all. Not to toot our own horn, but yeah.
Well, let's toot it. We dropped 5 pods this week.
Yeah,
let's check them out. At Nick, Cal Mike is a stud and number 1. He'll bounce back for sure. Oh yeah, he's talking about Mike. But I believe I say or AB. I don't trust Chark against Denver. I'll probably roll with Mike. All right, there we go. Another big Mike enthusiast. I'll roll with Vaughn versus Jags. All right, there you go. I'm with that. I don't think you can really go wrong either way. I'm leaning Jay Williams, to be honest. Gaskin could be the next Harris this week, and if they get behind early, I don't trust Tua.
I like that reasoning.
All right, we got Yad Verpata from YouTube says, who should I not start? Chase, Higgins, Chenault. I have Mixon already. I would not start Chenault. Well, no. Chase and Higgins, same team, and you're already starting Mixon. I understand. I understand the urge to diversify there.
The Bears look so bad, though.
I know, and we're so used to in our minds, the Bears are a good defense, but in reality, they're not.
They're not.
So I might start them both.
And if
it turns into an Andy Dalton Red Rider rides again revenge game, get turned up. It could get turned up.
Are you regretting dying on the hill of Andy Dalton this offseason?
Of course not. Of course not.
Okay.
Never. Starting him in a couple of leagues this week.
Wow. Just
You hate to see it.
nobody will ever
That's
accuse
all
you of not sticking to your guns.
Damn straight, and that's why I'm still here, baby.
The David Tan has revealed himself. Gotcha.
We got him. What do y'all think about Jacoby Tuito Mariner? My guy, I don't have any thoughts or comments about Jacob Tuiti Mariner at this point in time. Trolling me. Hey, that's what I mean. We're on the internet, right? Like, that's what we're doing. High level trolling.
It's a YouTube thing.
Just you remember when
the internet
was like the shit?
Oh,
you remember when Rick Rowland was just like, man, that was a good time.
I remember when I had no clue what was about to happen, and those would come up, and I would fall for it every time.
That's amazing. Drew Markham, half PPR, pick one. Julio, Courtland Sutton, or Corey Davis. Pick just one. I'm going to go Courtland Sutton.
Yeah, that's actually who I was leaning towards. I think if Bill Belichick is Bill Belichick today, he's going to shut Corey Davis out of the offense.
Yep. I agree. I think Elijah Mitchell ends up kind of leading that team in targets and receptions today because of that. Julio, after last week, and he's still Julio, blah, blah, blah. He's going to have great games. I just don't know what to think. I've never been a big Julio guy, and with him, there's always risk that he's going to come out early. And with A.J. Brown on the team now, Tannehill didn't really over-target him that much last week, so I'm just a little bit worried. So I'm going to go Courtland Sutton. I think the offense is going to funnel to and through him, especially with Judy going down.
Not trusting Tennessee until further notice. And if Corey Davis is lined up on Jalen Mills, then we made a mistake. Corey Davis is going to eat. But if it's not Jalen Mills and they have McCourty helping, no. Courtland Sutton's the play. Safer option.
Evans may bounce back 2D week, always fade all buck wide receivers, too many options. Nah. See, I don't play like that. In all my lineups, I've got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and I don't think I even have AB in any leagues, but if I did, I'd play him. What are we scared of here? Are you going to bench Claypool and Deontay Johnson and Juju? No, you're not going to bench any of these guys.
I know it frustrates you that Evans is
but
the
it's
one.
Not frustrating. People act like it's so frustrating. We played 1 week of fantasy football, okay, and some people had 7-point games. Were you not expecting some 7-point games?
It's true. It's just the hierarchy seems to not favor Evans.
Based on your single data point.
He likes Antonio Brown more. And Godwin more.
I can't with you today. Chris Barnes or Logan Wilson? That's Logan Wilson, David Tan.
Yes.
This David Tan guy, I don't know about him.
Logan Wilson.
Travis Knott. Question. Last question. Oh, is that a promise? A threat?
Doesn't have to be the last question.
Tracy Walker or Jordan Fuller? You already know where I'm going. Tracy Walker.
Ooh, got some inactives coming in.
Oh, shit.
But yes, Tracy Walker.
Yeah, it's Tracy Walker. John Johnson will have, none of these guys are bad plays by any stretch of the imagination. But,
Marshawn Lattimore and C.J. Gardner-Johnson are out for the Saints.
I saw Nick Kwiatkowski was out as well earlier today when I was doing my rankings. You guys can check out my rankings on the site, idparmy.com. If you want some semi-pro rankings, they're there for you. Exactly. Projections fuck me up. Thanks. You guys are solid. You're welcome. I just think it would be a cool feature to even if the apps themselves had an option where you could just like a slide bar where it took your projections out so you don't have to see them. I'm not saying you shouldn't, or maybe it took the player and it still gave you a weekly total. You could
projected snap percentage or something.
Just something different besides the points because you always how it is. And they're just median projections. So you're
for example, as a Browns fan, I checked out that Donovan Peoples-Jones played the second most snaps for the Browns last week, but people are going to start Anthony Schwartz thinking that he's the guy, but he didn't. He only played like 57% of the snaps. He just happened to get targeted. So it's like that kind of thing could shake out differently if things happen differently, like in the game.
100. Full PPR. Devontae Parker, Hollywood Brown for flex. Also
Parker.
Hamler. Yeah, just go Parker.
Fuller not being there is gonna keep Parker relevant.
Yeah, what's up with Will Fuller?
I think it's one of those don't ask, don't tell things. Like you just don't want to know.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that would fit the Will Fuller.
I mean, do you want to know what is going on in that guy's life right now? If he's finally back from suspension after missing 4 games and he's inactive the next week because of a personal issue, I don't want to know. Don't want to know.
Fair. Wow. You really, you say a bunch of dumb stuff, but then you offer some really good perspective like that.
Fair enough.
What else we got here? I'm scrolling through the inactives. Guys, I'm sorry. I know we have a bunch of questions here. I'm not doing my job. Scott Temple on YouTube says, need one, Javonte Williams, Gordon, Tyson Williams, or Gaskin. I mean, one of those guys, this is tough, my guy. I'm going to play Gordon because I'm a Melvin Gordon stan. He went off last week. Everyone's like, oh, Melvin Gordon sucks. I mean, if fucking Ezekiel Elliott did this last week, he would be in everybody's top 5 right now. But he's like still just a borderline RB1. Just play Gordon. That's my thing. What are you going to do, Billy?
Yeah, same.
All right.
Listen,
Billy stamp of approval. That's how you know it's good. Yeah. X-File FLP on YouTube says Miles Jack or Micah Parsons. Miles Jack.
Yeah,
for sure.
Jack.
Definitely Miles Jack. All right, we got John back in here. 2 questions. Took a flyer on KJ Hamler. Wide receiver 3 spot or flex. I'm okay with it, but I don't know what your other options are, so I can't necessarily say that I would do or undo that. Also grabbed MBS, thinking Rodgers is going to go off Monday.
I would wait and see on that.
Yeah, definitely. The guys.
He probably will.
He's the type. He's literally the type that if they lose like 3 in a row, I could see him just being like, I might retire. I just don't like it here anymore. I'm not having fun. Come at me, Packers fans. I know you're out there. Corey Davis or Kenyon Drake. I'm going to play Kenyon Drake, especially with Josh Jacobs out. We know Kenyon Drake can carry the load. Not that John Gruden's going to let him, but he can. We also know he's going to be the primary pass catcher. We know they paid him. They brought him in the offseason. He was with the program, et cetera, et cetera. Peyton Barber was just picked up and kind of, I don't care how excited John Gruden claims to be about Peyton Barber. Now, Peyton Barber's probably going to come in and steal your touchdowns if Kenyon Drake gets him down there close and can't score. But I'm still taking Drake over Corey Davis. Agreed?
Yes, agreed.
Derek Mock. What up, Derek? Pick 3. Antoine Winfield, Jeremy Chin, Jordan Fuller, Tracy Walker. I'll play Chin, Winfield, and Walker. Not if I don't like Jordan Fuller. Who are the Rams playing today, actually?
They're playing... I just saw it. They're playing the Colts.
Yeah, I'm still going to play those 3.
Your boy Trey Sermon's back.
He never went anywhere.
Officially active today. No, I just meant officially in.
He should have been officially in last week. He'd had 200 yards if he would have been.
Pissed off. He pissed off Kyle Shanahan.
Again, Kyle Shanahan's walking around with his I can't even right now. Hey, fellas, new to the channel on IDP. Y'all doing the damn thing. Damn right. You damn right. Full D-line, IDP, Yannick, Chris, Jones, Hargraves, Quiddy. I need 3. Man,
not Quiddy, right? Isn't he hurt?
Well, that's the thing, though. Yannick's kind of banked. So I'm playing Chris Jones for sure. He's 100% in. So you basically just need to sit one. You're basically going to sit whoever you think is the most banged up between Quiddy and Yannick, depending on, what one or both of them may even be inactive. So actually, let me look here. Okay, Yannick is in. He's not on the inactives. So, did you look at the Indy inactives?
I haven't seen it come across yet, but I thought they said he was out.
Here, I'm looking right now, my guy. All right. He's in. Inactives are Paris Campbell, Will Fries, Xavier Rhodes, Isaac Rochelle, Brandon Smith, and Chris Williams. So they're both going to be in. Okay, so now it is a little bit tougher. I'm still going to go Yannick.
Yeah.
Even though they're playing the Steelers and Big Ben doesn't get sacked a lot, with the line being the way it is, there's going to be behind the line of scrimmage opportunities still for tackles for loss. So I'm going to take him over Quiddy in the Rams. Corey Davis or Elijah Mitchell in the flex. I would go Mitchell in that scenario.
Mitchell.
Michael Kursk, Aziz Al-Shir or Tremaine Edmonds? Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah.
Against Dad Tua. Nick from YouTube. No. What?
Tremaine Edmonds is on Buffalo, right?
Yeah, he's the linebacker.
Okay. Yeah.
He's the good one. Although I think Terrell Edmonds has now been officially dubbed good by PFF, so you might have to rewrite the narrative on him too. Darrell Henderson or TJ Hawkinson.
Hawkinson not close. Start Hawkinson every week you have him.
Okay, there you go. There's your your take.
It's not even. How's it a hot take?
It's hot because I haven't seen you this fired up all show.
Goff loves TJ Hawkinson. It's a love affair.
Love two men loving each other. Lou 32 Lofton, Isaiah Simmons, Jordan Brooks, Kenny Young. Pick 2 LBs. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna go Isaiah Simmons for sure, and then I might go Brooks over Young. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think either is a bad choice, but I would go Brooks over Young. I don't really have a good reason for that, except that I'm just a little hesitant with Kenny Young. I know he was big last week, but I just don't, it's one game. We saw one good game out of several guys last year for the Rams. So I want to, if I can play Jordan Brooks, who I know is solidified, I'm going to take that option probably still. So Simmons and Brooks. John, again, my 3 options and my wide receiver, 3 flex, Hamler, MVS, and Ruggs, and Sermon. I play Sermon over those wide receivers. I would personally.
Not
because here's what Kyle Shanahan.
Don't trust him. Yep.
Here's what he's going to do. He's going to come out and he's going to give Trey Sermon the ball a fuck ton, and he's going to throw the ball to Ayuk a fuck ton, and he'll say, and he'll after the press conference will say, "Well, we had that plan the whole time. That was always the plan," and everyone will have Debo in, and everyone will just get burnt. Mitchell in. Everyone's going to get burned. And it's going to be the same Kyle Shanahan shit again next week. Zach Cunningham or Eric Kendricks. Not sure if Kendricks will play. Then play Zach Cunningham. And I would still probably play Zach Cunningham over Kendricks anyway. Especially if it's in a tackle-heavy format. Whatever the hell that means. I got offered Mixon and Woods for Ridley. Should I take it? Yeah. I mean, Ridley, I think he'll have a bounce back game today, but if you're going to get a running back that's going to get like upwards of 30 touches, even if it is Joe Mixon, I don't care. I want it. And you're getting Woods back too, who you're getting at a low. I mean, what was there between Woods and Ridley last week? Didn't they score almost the same? So
I think Woods was more than Ridley.
But, I'm taking it. It's going to be tough because I know Ridley is a stud, but if you're going to get Mixon for that and he has another good week, I mean, if you get real antsy, I mean, you can just keep churning Mixon on to the next guy and get something else. So, Derek, what's your guys' projections for JOK now that Anthony Walker is out? I think he'll probably play upwards of 80% of the snaps, assuming he doesn't just get completely wrecked. But I think we could see some of these other guys come in too, Mac, Wilson, and Taki.
Yep.
And I could see them leaning on them because they are, at this point, veterans.
It's such a funny name.
Taki. Corey Rideout on the YouTube says, Brooks over Young, yes. I have a tougher call. Pick 2. Cunningham, Brooks, Queen. I'm going to go Cunningham and Queen.
Sorry, Devin Bush is inactive, and now I'm having to scramble.
What?
Yep.
Okay. Devin Bush is officially inactive. That's weird. I didn't even know he was on the injury report.
He was on the injury report, but I didn't think he wasn't going to play. My bad. He's a starter for me, so that's kind of a
fire up your Joe shows, baby.
Frustrating little loss.
Fire up Joe Show. He's just one PFF grade away from being one of the best linebackers in the league. Hallelujah. All right, I got to find Devin Bush and take him out of my rankings. That's why I'm not paying attention to the comments right now.
Damn it. Okay. Let's go to the next one.
I just said I need to take Devin Bush on my rankings.
That's fine. You have to be the one that talks here?
No, I don't. If you want to take, I've just been doing it because you've just been sitting there.
Okay.
If you want to take over the chat, go for it.
KJ Hamler does have a good matchup. You're right. But we don't know what KJ Hamler is going to look like now that they don't have Judy there. Theoretically, he could be as good. Jacksonville would be a good way to show it. But I don't know yet about that. What weird face are you making?
Sorry, I'm looking at stuff.
Gotcha.
I don't have a comment. I'm sorry. I don't have KJ Hamler. He doesn't cross my mind ever.
Yikes.
Are you doing this for me?
I am. Are you back?
No, do your thing.
Thanks for the help, guys. Keep up the great work. We will.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Start 2. Gaskin, Damien Harris, Eli Mitchell, Tyson Williams. I think you could probably lock Damien Harris in against the Jets. Yeah. And it's between Gaskin and Eli Mitchell for me after that. Probably Gaskin. It's probably the safer play.
He is. I think. I agree. I agree with that assessment. I like Tyson Williams, but I did not like how much Latavius got in there after just showing up.
I feel like it's only going to get worse, too, for that.
Yeah.
Had Latavius Murray been in there on that last play that Lamar got fumbled, that would have Latavius Murray would have picked up that block. Tyson picked the wrong block, and that's why Lamar got annihilated.
Yep. Was leaning Sermon for the flex, so to be annoyed here, which for wide receiver 3, Hamler, Ruggs, Scaling. I'll go Hamler, I guess. I know what Ruggs is. I have him on my teams. He's terrible. Okay, he's gonna get 2 targets.
I don't know. Maybe if you're really gung ho about Hamler, go ahead and throw him in. Give him a shot. That's all I can think to say about that. I think starting Ruggs against the Pittsburgh defense is the biggest stretch. I can't see that working out well.
One more IDP question. Chris Jones or Justin Hollins? Definitely Chris Jones. He's playing on the edge. He's Chris Jones. Justin Hollins had a 2-sack game. That's great. Good for him. But that doesn't happen. We don't know who he is. And Chris Jones is one of the best players in the NFL. He dropped a 50-yard tug last week. He would have walked about different. We would be talking about it differently this week. Who are you talking about?
I think Tyson. Because the next comment, Murray.
Yeah. Murray has no juice left, though. I don't know about all that.
I don't think that's
Latavius Murray has never had – the thing about Latavius Murray is he's never been a juice runner. He's just been a find the right hole and run the ball guy. He's never been faster than anybody. He's never been more agile than anybody. He doesn't have a spin move. He doesn't really have any cuts. He's just Latavius Murray. And he's been Latavius Murray since he was with the Raiders 3 or 4 years ago. He didn't look any different to me even in that game. When he got out there, he looked the same as I always remember him looking. At 31 years old, he's to be out there doing it still, I mean, kudos to him. He's basically like the new what's his face? Who's that guy that was on the Bears for a long time? Then he went to the Jets and retired.
Forte.
Forte, exactly. It's kind of like that. Like Forte never really looked like he lost it. You know what I mean? He just like got older. He still looked like Forte.
He did.
It's kind of
he was talking about Hamler. I just got confused because he had another comment about Murray right after that.
For more money. Yeah, I bet he did. And again, if he knows. Look, I mean, think about this. You're Latavius Murray. You're 31. You look around at guys like Todd Gurley, 26 years old. You know, this guy can't get a contract. 2 years ago, there's something to be said about longevity and just knowing your worth. Like, yeah, maybe.
Did he leave the Saints? Didn't the Saints cut him because they didn't want to pay him?
But they wanted him to take less money or some shit like that. And he was like, "No." So that's why they cut him like right at the end of training camp or whatever. Another reason I think he's going to stay out there is because he's in really good shape too. I mean, he's not been injured. He played all through training camp. Love the IDP content. This is the only channel pushing IDP forward. Thanks. Can we get a quote? Actually, I guess we just got a quote. I need to write that down somewhere. I need to put that out there in the world. Tell everybody. Yeah, go on Reddit, say that shit. Go on Facebook, say that shit. Go on Twitter, say that shit. Just anywhere. Go on your blog, say that shit. Let the world know.
Your blog.
Who is the best option in this group? Logan Wilson, Devondre Campbell, or I'm gonna go Logan Wilson.
He's Logan Wilson. I hope Aziz can be startable, but don't know it yet.
Yeah, I had expectations for Ruggs. This is coming from John again, but I do have a gut feeling against Hamler.
I get the Hamler gut call, and the thing is Ruggs is in a terrible matchup. So if you're gonna make that gut call, it would be Hamler versus Jacksonville. It's the only time that gut call might be right for this 1 week. I think Hamler is good. Teddy does like him. It's just we'll have to see what his workload looks like. Still got Cortland Sutton, probably Fant, and the running backs will get fed. But
merci beaucoup, fellas. Merci beaucoup. That's all the French I know. Oh no, I know.
I don't know if you said that right, but go for it.
I don't know. My dad was pretending to learn French for a while when I was a kid. One more, if you don't mind. I'm struggling to play the Tennessee linebackers. What's the vibe on Landry and Jayon? Yeah, I pulled Jayon out of a lot of my lineups today. The hamstring thing just worries me. That's the kind of thing you can go out, play 3 or 4 snaps, and then just get pulled off. I actually pulled him out and put in Jalen Smith in a couple of spots. I'm still playing Landry. I love Landry. I've always loved Landry. He was like this far away from like 2 or 3 sacks this last week on Kyler. He didn't get him, obviously, but I mean, he got close. So, I mean, if that's not Kyler, if that's somebody else, I think he gets a little bit more juice on his numbers. So that's my thoughts. Are you in France or are you in some French speaking country in Africa, or are you in Canada, my friend?
Or are you just in America?
Or are you in Switzerland? Or are you in America are you in New York City?
Could just be French in America. That I agree with. Hamler is a cheap ass option on DraftKings or Underdog, probably. I don't know. I don't know if you would play that.
You would never play Hamler in Underdog.
It would be a risky play.
If you were making
a single game, maybe.
Here's the thing I didn't understand about DFS, and I finally realized the guys that play DFS and like make money, like these guys are literally doing like hundreds and hundreds of lineups a week. I didn't realize that until about a year ago. I thought, oh, people like do what I do. They like upload some money and they like build some lineups and they put in some optimizers. No, these guys have like whole supercomputers that run like a bazillion sims, and then they just run all these percentages and they make like 1 billion lineups and they win like 3%. And then they do that every week if they can. And it's just crazy to me that's like, I don't know. That doesn't sound fun to me. Even if you are winning money, it's just like, oh. That's like work.
It's a job. Well, yeah, I was about to say it's a job. That's what it is.
And it's like, yeah, like I said, we're semi-pro at this, but like this isn't. I mean, not like this isn't hard. I mean, it does take time, and having answers for questions mean you have to actually look into the information around it. But that's like fucking real work. Like, I don't know. That just doesn't sound like you enjoy. No, he's not going to be an every down linebacker, my guy.
It's confusing.
Oh, looks like we got him born and raised in New Orleans. What up? What up?
Yeah, that's a French option.
Yeah. One of the few in America, really. Non-PPR, which two do you start? Non-PPR, AB, Sanders, Gordon, Hunt, or Higgins? I'll let you go first, Bill.
Non-PPR, which two do I start? For some reason, I'm really liking Miles Sanders today after seeing what Swift did last week.
Mm-hmm.
Probably him. I'll just say it. Him and AB, probably.
I'm going to go Melvin Gordon and AB. Devin Bush.
Love that. You just love that Melvin Gordon, man.
I do. He's going to win me $1 million in Underdogs. I got him on like 1 billion teams.
Yikes. Yes, we are waiting on Eric Kendrick's news. I have him in my lineup with Devin Bush. Stressing a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that league. That's where you're back-to-back champ.
Exactly.
Yep.
Hey, first week I came out and flexed my muscle.
I thought you lost week 1.
No, I scored the most points in the league.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention. I used to always assume that's me, so.
Yikes. You scored the least amount in that league, so I can see why you'd forget.
Did I?
We can pull up the standings right now. Yes, you were at the very bottom.
What? It doesn't sound like me. Yeah, they play over 150 lineups weekly. It's wild. Yeah, it's just like, again, I mean, if I'm going to be an underdog, bro, I guess I need to get my spreadsheet muscles up. And
if you're getting in those millionaire contests and you think like there's a shot for you to win that million, there's not.
No, I know. And that's the thing I've realized too about especially DraftKings and stuff. It's like you have a lot of people, I mean, with all those lineups built, you end up with repeat lineups. That's one thing I like about Underdog. You have less of a chance of that happening. And in daily, there's no chance of it happening unless you play the tournaments.
Yeah. It is sad to see. I think Zayvon Collins will be all right. I think as the season goes on, it's going to be another Isaiah Simmons situation where as the season goes on, he'll be better. Get more snaps.
Appreciate the help firing up Queen and Cunningham. One last question. Is Grant Delpit worth starting as a DB4? Or should I start Tart, Jimmy Ward, or DJ Reed? I would start one of those guys. I could see Delpit coming out and playing like 10 snaps and then just take him out. You have to remember, he didn't even get on the field last week, right? And he's over a year removed from an ACL tear. And a typical, clean, normal ACL tear, full recovery time for a pro-level athlete is 9 months. And we're at 12, almost 13 months, and he couldn't get out there. I just wonder what that means.
Yes.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Inactive should start coming in here pretty soon.
Have a good Sunday, fellas. Yeah, no problem, my guy.
Yes. Have a good one, JJ.
Thanks for being here. Kendrick's full practice Friday. He's questionable. If he practiced in full on Friday, he'll probably play.
Still would like to see it, though.
Do I start Kenyon Drake or Melvin Gordon in flex?
Kenyon.
Drake. Yeah, I think Drake is your play here, too.
Full workload.
Although I do like Melvin Gordon a lot.
Still, he's going, yeah.
So, all right, listen, y'all. We've been on here almost an hour. We're going to do another 10 to 15 minutes with y'all. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. I'd say subscribe. Yeah, subscribe, thumbs up, like, whatever. We appreciate you being here. We'll be back next week. Yeah, I mean, this is where fantasy football's won, actually playing the game, setting your lineups, adjusting. It's most of your heroes on Twitter, they're really good at fantasy, February through August. And you get to now and they all want to be best ball analysts. They want all their leagues to be best ball.
Or it's reactionary, like, wow, this person sure did suck, didn't they? And
yeah,
just to get people to comment.
Yeah, and it's a 17-week season. I mean, this is a war of attrition. That's how I always talk about fantasy football. It's a war of attrition. You don't win it or lose it in any one moment. It's a lot of little tiny moments, a lot of little tiny decisions. And yeah, there's some level of luck to it, but you have the ability to determine who gets lucky on your team by who you play, by who you have.
Dude, it is wild how quiet it got as soon as the season started. You told me it was going to happen, and then it happened. Like it just immediately happened. It got real quiet.
And people will say it's because they're busy writing and all this other stuff, but it's just like you have one single data point to be writing about right now, So, I mean, again, this is the grind. This is what people don't want to do, because guess what? Every week you get to be wrong. And that's the other crazy thing too. In the summertime, from August to September, I mean, from, February to August, no one's ever wrong. If you have enough spreadsheets and if you get enough likes and enough retweets, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, you're right.
Yeah. Are we too low on blank?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I am. And this is why. Well, so-and-so said this. Look at this quote tweet from me from last December where I said this and this person who fucking cares? Okay. I'm talking right now. Do I play so-and-so or so-and-so? That helps people.
Yeah.
And so many people they scurry away because they have a 50-50 chance of being wrong and they don't want to be wrong.
Why is Todd Gurley not on a roster?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing with me is I don't care if I want to be right. Believe that. But I don't mind being wrong. I'm okay. I'm okay being wrong. And if you want to drag me for it, I don't care.
I've been around you long enough. I understand.
Yeah. So I think that's the disconnect a lot of people have. They feel the need to be right. They feel like, oh, I'm a fantasy pro or I'm an expert. I need to have the right answer. You need to have an answer, not the answer. That's your job. You're a filter. That person still takes your information and makes their own decisions about their own roster. So if you say start Kenyon Drake and I say start Melvin Gordon, that person gets to decide still. You know what I mean? One of us is going to be wrong unless they both score the exact same number of points.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't care if I'm wrong. I want to be right more than anything, obviously. And that's why I'm picking my guy. And I'm sure you do too. But a lot of people don't even have that level of conviction. They don't have enough level of conviction to put their chips on anyone and hope that they're right because they're scared they'll be wrong. That's why you have I always say it's play fantasy football in a visionary way, not a reactionary way. I'm so convinced Ayuk is going to come out today and put up 25 points. So convinced. And so many people either traded him away or got really, really low on him or panicking about him. Just the general anxiety of a player that we saw go out last year from 9 games in a row, 10 games in a row, put up 20 points. And now all of a sudden we're scared. But there's so many factors around it that you shouldn't worry about, but we're all reacting to it. And I'm just like, it's one tiny data point, and we have so many data points of him being good.
It's true.
So anyway, Like I said,
on with the show.
Onward. What up, fellas? Demario Davis or Zach Vaughn? I'm leaning Davis, of course. Just wanted to know if there was a possible upside explosion with Vaughn. No. There is.
There is, but
Demario Davis is one of the most heavily blitzed linebackers in the NFL. So if you want upside, just play Demario Davis.
Yep. There's a chance, Zach Vaughn, but there's a chance that anything can happen.
Yeah. I could spontaneously combust right now.
Poor sweatshirt. Sweatshirt didn't deserve that.
Okay, mis amis. I'm out after this last one. It's almost Saints time. Thoughts on my LBs? Landry, Chubb, Tremaine, Jaylen. See y'all next time. Good luck today, everyone. Thoughts? I think you got a good linebacker crew. You got two solid tacklers, Jalen's stock after dipping down really low this week is on the rise again as of this morning. Landry's always been pretty good. Chubb after the late scratch last week. If it's in Dynasty, you're in a good spot. You got some upside there. He can play DL depending on what kind of league you're in. So, I like that group. I would want, and if that's my true linebacker group, I would like another stud or studly-ish linebacker in there, aka a Roquan Smith type or even a Fred Warner type, Deion Jones type. I would like to have one more of those guys in that group. I don't want necessarily 2 boom busts and then 2 floor guys because you're looking at a situation where one of those guys sits or you have a week where you have 2 bye weeks together. And I'm not necessarily sure I love just having the options there. I would like at least one more guy.
Agreed.
All right, you going to do the next one or me? All right, got it. Do I start Cortland Sutton or Davonte Smith, full PPR? Okay. I'm starting Cortland Sutton. I'm like the anti-Davonte Smith guy, and I know that I'm probably going to end up eating that all year. Well, we'll see. It's one data point again. I know Jalen Smith looked good.
I'll take Davonte. I don't like San Francisco's cornerbacks and secondary as a whole. So
you don't think Cortland Sutton's going to smoke a 45-year-old Josh Norman?
Cortland Sutton's playing Jacksonville.
Oh shit, you're right.
Devontae Smith is going to be torching a 45-year-old.
We'll see.
Josh Norman.
We'll see. I'm interested to see how old Jalen Hurts does today.
Yeah.
Shenault or Mike Williams? Mike Williams, easy. I mean, they got 12 targets.
We're wrong. We were way wrong about Mike Williams.
Who's we? He's on all my dynasty teams.
Okay,
this whole we. That's the other thing I don't like about.
So you're saying
community.
that you were in on Mike Williams?
Fantasy community.
You're saying that you were in on Mike Williams this offseason?
He's on all my teams.
I didn't hear you say his name a single time.
Huh? Did you see any trade offers coming with him on there? No, I didn't see.
Why would I see that?
Okay, then. Sometimes actions speak louder than words. I don't gotta be screaming about it for it to be real. Go check my rosters. Terry McLaurin's all over the place.
You have some garbage players on your roster. Am I thinking that's the guy that you're totally in on? No.
I'm in on Mike Williams.
Okay, fair enough.
Suck it.
It was a very quiet offseason, I guess, on the Mike Williams front for me.
I got other shit to scream about.
You sure do. You're busy out here fucking Andy Dalton defending. You have no time to mention Mike Williams.
I'm out here preaching the good word of IDP. Andy Dalton's name came up once or twice, and you're trying to talk like that was my whole offseason. Who is this guy?
Hey, that's your offensive.
Who is this guy?
I only get your offensive opinions every now and then.
Who is this guy? Get him out of here. Give me Mike Williams.
Mike Williams for sure.
The guy I wasn't really in on.
I didn't hear it.
One more, guys. Man, I feel like you sound like my kids. One more. Just one more question. One more candy.
No, keep them coming. You don't even have to say one more. Just keep the questions coming. I don't even care.
That to happen. But I mean, I feel like I've read one more question like at the beginning of the last 30 questions, which is totally fine. CeeDee Lamb or Jamar Chase for a flex? CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, for sure. Yeah.
Jamar
Chase, I mean, it could be a good day for Jamar Chase against the Bears, but CeeDee Lamb's going to be better.
Yeah, let's just
that game has sneaky shootout written all over it, by the way.
Yeah, I said that last week about the Green Bay and New Orleans game and lost a lot of money.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So that was great. Roddy Ramen on YouTube says Brandon Cooks or Corey Davis?
Probably Brandon Cooks.
In that scenario, it's Cooks. All right, yes. Roddy Ramen again. Man, some ramen does sound good. Noah Fant, Pittman, Jamal Williams, or Cole Beasley.
Oof. Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you who it's not. It's not Pittman. He's not a thing. I don't care what anybody told you in the offseason. Michael Pittman's not a thing. Jamal Williams or Cole Beasley. And if it's full PPR, I'm guessing it is because you just said this was a PPR league. So I'm going to play Beasley.
Yeah. If it's only one, Beasley.
Yep. Yeah, that's tough. Because I like between those two, it's Jamal Williams or Beasley. Leaning Beasley.
I do like Jamal Williams.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be. The thing here, Jamal Williams, he's going to be like Austin Eckler was 2 or 3 years ago, where it's like, he comes out of nowhere, but people are like, well, he always could have done it, but he's going to put up another 15, 16-point game today. I think all season he's basically just going to be a beast. I have him on a lot of teams too, and you didn't see me talking about it all off season, but he's there. Some things you got to keep for yourself if you want to win, you know?
Jeez.
Especially when you got snakes.
You're here trying to help. The thing is like about Mike Williams, you weren't trading him because nobody would have traded it for him.
Oh, like, please.
You were trading for pennies at that point.
I can sell water to a water snake. I can sell Mike Williams to a fantasy player like nobody's business if I wanted to. All right. Greg Shurinkin says start 2, PPR, Gaskin, Waddle, Mitchell, or Henderson.
Waddle.
Aren't you? I thought you hated Waddle. All offseason you were like, don't trust Jalen Waddle.
I did, but he doesn't look hurt.
Okay, fair. I'm going to go Henderson, and I would consider Waddle.
I'm going to do, I would do Henderson and Waddle. That's the two. It's not, the thing is like if Waddle's ankle was a problem, sell. It was a red flag. His ankle looks just fine. I could be wrong about that, but if the injury was there, I was not going to be wrong.
What's up, Keltown? Are the expectations for Darius Leonard too high? No. He's basically been banged up all the time.
Stinks too.
It does, but he's still. You got to play him, and you got to keep your expectations high because it's Darius Leonard.
Yep.
What up, Keltown? Good morning to everyone except those deciding between Tyson Williams and Elijah Mitchell. Tough look out there.
It's a tough scene.
QB2, Jameis, Big Man, Matt Ryan. Okay, so Jameis.
Jameis, pretty, yeah.
Unless your league is scoring just Jameis.
No, it's Jameis. There's really nothing I can talk myself into about this.
Jameis Winston has always been good. He's another one of those players where it's like, oh, he's gotten better. He's the exact same guy.
See, like him, I knew you were in on. Like, I'd ask you a couple questions about him, and you were like, nope. And I was like, okay. He's in on that guy.
Also, start to full PPR, Damien Harris, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Tyson Williams.
I'm off Tyson this week. Like, I
don't want that.
Other than the 35-yard run, what did he do?
And what's the upside? You know, I mean, really, 15 points, like upside, maybe. Like, let's be real. Like, be honest with yourself. You know, so you're going to get more upside out of wide receivers just in general. So I would play. I'm not necessarily pro Damien Harris in PPR, but I'd play Damien Harris and probably Waddle.
Yep. Devontae Smith's getting there, but I think Waddle's a safer play. He looked so good against the Patriots of all people.
River Pyres says T. Higgins or Deontay Johnson have PPR. Deontay Johnson, I don't even like Deontay Johnson. Really, I'm a Steelers fan. For whatever reason, he's like the wide receiver that I just don't. He's just like meh to me. He just
crazy too. I feel like he needs a better name. That's the thing.
His name's not bad. It's just what he does on the field. Nothing about it to me feels electric. It's like Julian.
Well, if his name was Chase Claypool or Juju Smith-Schuster, like those are so fun to say.
Yeah, and he got that many targets and catches.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, his name's Deontay Johnson. He gets peppered with targets, and it's just like one of these things where it's like, oh, good, we got another Mike fucking Thomas in the league. Great. Like,
I would probably still go with Deontay though over T. Higgins, even though T. Higgins is the one.
Here's my thing, and I'm gonna get on my soapbox again for a second. But in fantasy football. Sure. Just calm down. In fantasy football, I want to have fun. Okay, I want to get a rush, a high. Okay, and how do you get those? You get big plays. More often than not, big plays are coming from downfield threats, guys like that of that nature. Deontay Johnson. At the end of the game, he's got 18 points, but my heart rate didn't even accelerate a little watching him play. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't do it for me. So when I play fantasy, I'd rather watch Claypool, just like go downfield and like just fall on his, on a ball super hard on like a 60-yard catch. That's awesome. And guess what? In that moment, I get as many points as it took Deontay Johnson to get the whole first quarter, even though he got 6 targets. I'd rather take that one big hit than a bunch of little hits.
Okay. Welcome back.
Have Naji Harris already. I think Naji Harris is going to have a bounce back game in a big way. What up, Richard Malone?
I think you're right about that.
Good to see you, brother. Start Akeem Hicks or Josh Sweat. I'm going to start Josh Sweat.
Didn't he just get an extension?
He just got an extension, and he's been good longer than people realize. And Akeem Hicks plays the interior, which is not ideal for fantasy production comparatively. Danny Link, YouTube says, need one to start this week, Khalil Mack, Crosby, or Justin Hollins. Man, this is going to be super controversial, but I would probably – who do the Bears play this week?
The Bengals.
I'm playing Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow got pressured a fuck ton. He's still a little gun shy. I know Khalil Mack is not necessarily a huge fantasy stalwart, and Matt Crosby will probably play more snaps than him, but Big Ben – for all the talk people had last year about how bad he looked and all this, he only took 13 sacks last year in 15, 16 games. It's less than a sack a game. Big Ben's he's like Tom Brady. Like you get to a point to where you almost have like a Jedi mind with, pressure, and you just know when to worry, when not to worry, and what to do when it happens. It's almost all muscle memory at this point for some of these guys. So I trust Big Ben to avoid Max Crosby. And then again, Justin Hollins, I want to see one more week of decent high level production. So I'm going to go Mac.
Yes, I agree in this one game.
Naji Cobbs on the YouTube says Gordon Mitchell, AB flex. I'm probably playing AB there.
Agreed.
Especially if it's any sort of PPR.
Yeah. Hey, before the next one, so since Minnesota has a later start today, who should people pick up if he, for some reason, is a scratch late?
I mean, hopefully you don't have to pick up anybody. Hopefully you got somebody on your bench you can slide in. But I guess it is later.
But these are late games. Yeah, 9 games.
If you're really concerned about it, I would probably just pull him now. Slide him into an IDP flex spot if you have it. If you're flexing a linebacker, put him in your starting spot. That's the first thing I would do. I would go ahead and try to adjust my lineup to where Kendricks is in a flex spot now. And just start preparing for.
I just want people to have a contingency plan because the 305 starts you don't want to be screwed basically.
Fair. I mean, I guess Nick Vigil. I mean, if he's still on your waivers, he played last week. He had a pretty good game. He's not like a special player, but Boxer Bruh says standard league need one for my flex. Jamal Williams, Naeem Hines, or Jarvis Landry. I'm playing Landry. I think they're all great options this week. But I mean, again, it's just one of those things where the wide receivers generally have more upside. OBJ.
Well, the thing about Hines though this week is since they're playing the Rams and the Rams are going to be airing it out, maybe you have to catch up. But the problem is Carson Wentz and dump offs they oil and water. They don't go
Carson Wentz and football. This.
Dude,
they don't mix like they used to.
When Carson Wentz has to dump off the ball, he sends that shit 90 miles per hour at the running back. So that could be bad. I don't know.
You're right. Man, y'all fucking firing off these questions here at the end. Yeah, no problem, Danny Link. Colton Roberts on YouTube says, saw your post about that you can not only but should start guys on the same decent team. That's what he means.
Yeah.
Same team. I'm loving the Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, Montez Sweat lineup in my trio. Yeah,
it's good.
It is. Good. If you can get it, it's about getting the cumulative points. He meant defense. That's what he said.
By the way, how dumb do the Bengals look not taking Rashawn Slater? He just held Chase Young in check for that entire game.
I'm curious as to what
last week.
It's week 2. I'm curious as to what the temperature is going to be on Chase Young at the end of this 16-game season. I'm just going to put it that way. I think it's going to be something we're going to have to talk about more.
I think if he's up against a good old lineman, he's going to get held in check. If he's up against a scrub, then he's going to eat.
If you're in the NFL, you're usually up against a good offensive lineman. So
unless you're playing,
we're going to table it.
We'll Tennessee last week.
Yeah. Dear God. Dear God. CB spot guys, Surtain or JC Jackson? I'm going to take JC Jackson. Or wait, no, what are you going to do?
They're both in good match. Probably JC Jackson, probably. Yeah. Surtain this would be the week Surtain goes off though, because Trevor Lawrence he just chucks the ball up and somebody's going to catch it.
2 of 3. Duggar, Rapp, Winfield from Mark Hernandez.
Rapp for sure.
Rapp and Winfield. I still don't trust Duggar. I know he was out there doing stuff.
I don't trust Duggar either. That whole secondary is fishy.
But if I have other guys that can play, I would rather play them.
Man, these questions are coming in.
Trey S. I know. I'm kind of scared to scroll down. 2 questions. Both full PPR. Deontay or Debo as my wide receiver 2. And the other one is Flex Henderson. Woods is one of my wide receivers, or Elijah Mitchell.
Okay. Deontay or Debo? I'd go Deontay. I think I'd go Deontay.
Sit Debo?
I wouldn't sit him, but
why don't you just play both of them and not play Henderson or Mitchell?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think that's the play, my guy.
I would stay the wide receivers.
I would play both those wide receivers. And the way the NFL is going, I think this is another thing we're going to talk about more next year, but I think there's going to be start loading our teams with wide receivers, and we're gonna kind of say, is there gonna be more hero RB or anchor RB, where it's like you get one and then you just kind of worry about it later, because you can make up, fabricate, manufacture, whatever word you want to use, points from the wide receiver position, especially as the league becomes more pass friendly across the board. You know, I mean, Deontay Johnson on 1 week, he's the first or the third target on the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it doesn't matter because he's a playable, viable option every single week. Because even if he's the third option, he's still going to be probably better than Elijah Mitchell as the second option at running back. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
And that's assuming you know that. Brian Burns, Jadeveon Clowney, or Jadeveon Clowney with his Texans matchup. I'm still playing Burns over Clowney, but I think Clowney is a good play.
I would go Burns.
He's kind of reached that point where you just don't want to take Burns out of your lineup unless you have
how can you sit him? I feel like you're gonna. The problem is you're just gonna feel really.
It sucks. It's the same reason I had to sit Chandler Jones last week. I just have some leagues. I went ham the last 2 years in my dynasty leagues on these young defensive ends. So I've got leagues where I'm like, got both Bosas. I've got Myles Garrett. I've got Chase Young. I've got Brian Burns, Josh Allen, and I'm only able to start like 3 of them. So it kind of sucks.
Gotcha. Okay. Or Parsons.
I'm not playing Parsons this week. I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm playing, and yeah, I would definitely start Logan Wilson's over Parsons, my guy. 100%. Me. You don't have to.
Callaway or Boyd for flex? Man, Callaway looked weird last week. They didn't really need him, so it's like.
I'm playing Callaway.
You are okay. The Bengals are playing Chicago, man. Like, what do you want?
I just believe. I
know I'm wearing a Chicago jersey, but their defense is rough.
Jameis Winston, dude. I mean, Jameis Winston is not. I mean, he's a great quarterback when it comes to throwing the football.
Yeah.
I don't know how other ways to phrase it. And it doesn't matter who he's really throwing it to, they usually look better than they are. So I'm assuming the volume goes up, Callaway's going to have to be involved. Pick one, Burns. Oh, didn't you just ask that?
Burns.
Yeah, we're going Burns, my guy. Tight end, Jared Cook or Juwanu Smith?
Jared Cook for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Jared Cook, I mean, I know he's old, but I mean, the guy's been a beast the last 4 years.
Herbert apparently loves him, and if that's who Herbert likes, that's who Herbert likes.
Lucius Vorenus 44 on
start YouTube. 2. Man, people have the same questions about the same guys. Isn't that interesting?
It is. It's early in the season, so a lot of teams, there is sort of a pattern to drafts. Start 2. Okay, Julio, Corey Davis, or Sutton?
Probably Sutton for sure.
And
the
Julio,
other 2, though.
I would start Julio still. I'm not starting Corey Davis over Julio Jones. I know Julio didn't do much last week, but I think you can just throw the Titans week 1 away. They were a beat team.
I hope so.
They were a broken team after the third Chandler Jones sack in the first quarter. They were a broken team at that point in the game. And they made him, and they kept trying to give the ball to Derrick Henry, and it was just like.
Did you see Vrabel lit up Julio Jones in the press conference too?
Mm-mm.
Just have to go after the guys, man.
I didn't see that. What did he say?
Well, he's just holding them accountable for not. He had some stupid penalty, I guess, in the game.
Oh yeah,
and he just was going after him about we can't have that kind of people from our veterans on the team, and just I don't know. Maybe they come out with a fire under their ass this week.
The Seahawks are a good team for that. I think this is a get right week. I'm playing OBJ in a lot of underdog drafts still. Not OBJ, ABJ.
I was about to say, whoa.
No, fuck OBJ.
Better change that.
I have one team, and he's on my IR. I've never drafted OBJ in my life. I drafted him this year once in a redraft. First time. Because I was just the value. And, I was just he still hurt me. He's still hurting me.
That was one of those.
One time I fuck with him, he hurts me.
That was one of those talking points in the offseason.
Mm-hmm. Well, Juwanu Smith is inactive. That's big news.
No. So, is he?
Don't play him.
Never mind on Jonu.
That's what David Frisina says on YouTube.
Sorry.
Show us your credentials, David. Who are you? Trey S. Ooh, is this Trey Sermon? Trey, you in here? What up, my guy? Trey Sermon in the house. What up? 2 different leagues. A-Rob, Deontay are my wide receivers in the first question? Chris Carson is my flex. Okay, I guess there's what happened? What is going on?
Mike Reese says Jonnu Smith is active today. So
David.
I have questions, David. I have questions.
David. Who is this David character? Bars in the truck.
Did you answer that guy's question or no?
Well, I didn't really understand it.
2 different leagues. A-Rob and Deontay are my wide receivers in the first.
Somehow I missed it. He already asked.
Well, there was a question a while back from him.
Okay, so how does this work? So
2 different leagues. Okay, see that's what we were confused about on the first one.
Okay. I'm starting Debo still.
Yeah, I think I would start Debo if that's the choice. I guess. Gotta start him until he sucks, right? I mean,
no problem, David. Afternoon and happy week 2. Full PPR pick 2. CEH at Baltimore, Damien Harris at the Jets, or Mitchell at Philly. Pick 2, I'm going CEH and I'm going Harris.
Same.
I think Jalen Ramsey's a great play. If you're in a cornerback league, play
any player going against Carson Wentz is a good play. Any DB.
Yeah. Any defensive player going against Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow.
Or a rookie.
Sam Darnold, Matt Ryan. Play them. Appreciate all the content, guys. One more Damien Harris or Drake, full PPR. I'm playing Drake.
Full
PPR. Yep. Wow, we finally caught up. Jermaine Pratt or Jordan Brooks? Jordan Brooks, pretty easy from 22 Colts 22.
I think so. Yeah, Jordan Brooks.
Go subscribe to the channel. Go like this video. Tell a league mate about the IDP Army. Have them sign up. Join the Patreon. We do cool shit over there. Searbat, what up, my guys?
Highsmith, right?
Rashawn Gary, Highsmith, or Olakun, 8-point sack, 1-point tackle. Yeah, it's Highsmith.
Especially
Highsmith. Yeah. Not necessarily because of that. I just think Highsmith has a good tackle floor and he has a good chance to get a sack. I don't think Olakun has a chance to really get a sack. Gary could. Rashawn Gary is actually a good play this week because Zadarius Smith is going to be out, so I'm going to be watching Rashawn Gary closely today. I expect him to probably be the best defensive lineman not named Kenny Clark for the Packers today. So that's something to watch if you're a Packers fan. You'll get to see a good, probably get a good amount of snaps from him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, IDP Army.
Finally caught up.
Yep. My name's Jordan Rains. I'm a semi-pro fantasy professional. His name's Billy Mansell. He is also a semi-pro fantasy professional. We play fantasy football semi-professionally, comment on it semi-professionally. The IDP Army is our baby. We play IDP fantasy football because it's the best. You do too. If you've been hanging out here with us, we super appreciate it. Come back next week. Tell a friend. Bring a friend. Bring some questions to the table. We will do our best to answer them in a semi-professional manner for you.
Yes.
And hopefully you guys can go win some money on Underdog this week. Hopefully you go beat your opponents in fantasy football. Do not be afraid to talk shit in your league chats. Do not be afraid to also just completely ghost out of there if you're getting your ass beat and say you're real busy. There's so many nuances to fantasy football, guys, okay?
It is.
There's ways to do this.
Quickly at the end, start Jaylen over Von Bell and Adrian Amos.
No. Over Amos? Yes. Over Bell.
Not over Bell.
The Adrian Amos thing is just like, that's another PFF thing where it's just like, I mean, yeah, he's an okay safety.
Bell, Jaylen, Amos, that order. Jamal Williams or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jamal Williams, Amon-Ra's not ready yet. He'll be there eventually.
Agreed. Jamal Williams. We're looking at World 2 where I was all DeAndre Swift was questionable. So, I mean, like, what if this guy gets hurt again? You know, I don't know. Jamal Williams is going to be he's going to be someone you could play every week this season.
Amon-Ra St. Brown will be good eventually, so don't drop him, even if he doesn't have like a couple good weeks. But eventually he will be the guy there. I realize Tyrell's out this week, so who are they going to pass to? But it's not going to be a wide receiver. Wasn't last week, so don't think they're going to start that now.
All right. That's pretty much everything, guys. We've been here for 90 minutes. We'll be back next week, 11 Eastern. Join us. I will be on tomorrow with the Waiver Wire show, with the Fade show later in the week, some rankings later in the week, offensive points. If you are not subscribed to the podcast, go to the podcast because you're going to get stuff on the podcast you don't get on the YouTube channel.
Yes.
The feed has got things on it that you won't get here.
Also,
right there,
go to TikTok.
Get on the feed.
IDP Army on TikTok.
Yep. I need to get a little thing where up above us it has like all of our little social things, like a TikTok thing and a YouTube thing, so like people can just see we're on all of them. I'll work on that. Yeah. Lawrence or Tannehill. I'm playing Tanny still, dude. I mean, he had one bad game. He's had like 2 or 3 bad games the past like 2 years. Like it happens. Like it happens in fantasy football, y'all. Do not take out guys that have been world beaters because of one bad performance.
Lawrence against the Denver Broncos defense does not sound like a fun matchup.
What do you think the odds are that everybody that blew up last week blows up this week? It's not how it works. So the guys who did not blow up last week, if you're just if you're just flipping a coin, they now have a better chance of blowing up than the guys who did. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I just don't start fading guys because of one bad game.
Yes, agreed.
It's tough. Frank Clark or Clowney? I'm playing Clowney. Frank Clark. I'm so over Frank Clark. He gets like a tackle a game, 2 tackles a game. He gets a sack once a month. He gets a tackle for loss every other week. I mean, the guy's just
wishy-washy.
He's just now I will say he's got his edge rushing mate is now Chris Jones versus interior. So that might give him a bump.
Okay. Last one for sure.
Yep.
For sure. Last one.
Duggar, Rapp, Winfield. I'm playing Rapp and Winfield.
Rapp and Winfield. Or if you just need one, probably just Rapp.
All right, like we said, y'all, tell a friend, join the Patreon, get access to the Ultimate IDP Index, get access to the Discord channel where we're always in there. Go leave a 5-star rating and review for the show. Like and subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to join the IDP Army and go fuck some shit up this week.
Yes, go win your leagues.